Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring in Tamir Rabinovich. How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good. I've been hunting you down for years to get you on the show. Not managed to get there. I almost snagged you at SellerCon, and then
Yeah.
you escaped my grasp. So
Yeah, I was
today,
waiting for that $5 gift card, so that's why.
that's what it was. That's what it is. No, but in all seriousness, it's been great to finally get you on. Very good presentation at SellerCon. I know you've done some stuff here in London as well. So yeah, do you want to give the audience, for those that don't know you, a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, so I've been on Amazon since 2015. I'm running multiple brands. I have a full team in the Philippines that almost the entire business is automated these days. I also speak at a lot of different Amazon related events. I also have a few coming up this year and also next year. So yeah, doing well. Just focusing on Amazon, not doing anything else. That's my life right now. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so today we're going to talk about your approach to product research, right? I mean, you've done some stuff in London that you alluded to. There's a video playback you mentioned that we can put in the show notes. But there's a differentiating point about what you're doing here. So do you want to take the stage, basically?
Yeah, thank you. So just a small brief about product selection in general. So I know there are a lot of courses out there, a lot of gurus or whatever, and from what I'm seeing, at least, almost all of them have the same approach for new products. So find a product that is anywhere between $15 to $60. It can't be heavy, it can't be competitive, it needs to be small and everything. And the problem is that everyone is doing that. Since I started, everyone is doing pretty much the same thing. And actually, like you mentioned, I did a lecture in the UK, and you can also find it on my website. It's like on the main page on my website, and you can just watch it there. But what I want to talk about today is how you can launch very competitive products. I'm talking like bath bombs, Bluetooth headphones, things like that for $5,000 or less, and still make a lot of money. And this is really good for beginners, but I'm also launching these type of products all the time, and we're making really, really good money with those.
Cool. All right. So take it away. Let's go through the process.
Yeah, so if you think about it, if you think about any competitive product, um, doesn't matter if it's in Amazon or off Amazon. So when there is a big demand for a product, what happens is there are sub-niches for that product. So if you look at cell phones, for example, when the first phone was invented, great, then you had cell phones. Now you have phones for kids, phones for adults. You have like a big variety of those because the demand keeps growing. Now, if you think about bath bombs, for example, that started for women, right? For women, put it in their baths and everything. Now, if you look in Amazon, if you type bath bombs and you hit space, so you type in bath bombs for, you will see bath bombs for kids, bath bombs for men. You will see like more and more sub-niches forming. And what you can do is you can actually, if you target like bath bombs for men, if you just type that in, you will see like a few of those exist, and they're making really good money with like very little reviews and everything. So what we do is we try to find those sub niches and just launch those products. The goal when I look at Amazon, my goal is to really have a very good conversion rate. I think conversion rate is how you win on Amazon, especially when it comes to a competitive product. So if I sell bath bombs for men, imagine my listing only has images with men. Even the scents are aimed for men, and everything is like all about men. I don't even need to be indexed for the word women. Okay, I don't really care. And what will happen is my conversion rate is going to skyrocket, right? Because I'm not targeting kids, I'm not targeting women. You see, everyone else is putting like bath bombs for women, men, kids, blah 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 in their titles. Everyone is trying to sell to everyone, and that's okay when you have like 5,000 reviews. But when you're just starting out, you can just target a very specific niche, and you can make like 10, 20, 30K a month with just this one product because it has
And
a high demand.
are we talking, because obviously there's the difference, like when you're operating in the US compared to the EU, like I find there's more of a deeper long tail within the US as opposed to the UK or somewhere. I know that bath bombs are very prominent here in terms of being quite competitive in the UK. But I find that when you normally compare a market like a US market, a UK, there's a percentage shrink in size, isn't there? Do you find your particular style works better in the US or it works everywhere?
I don't think so. I think it works everywhere because you can look. So in the UK, I'm not selling in the UK, but in the UK, you can even look for more competitive products like all diffusers.
Yeah.
So all diffusers, I'm pretty sure they're competitive everywhere. And if you can find like a sub niche for all diffusers, that's great. That can be all diffuser for a large room. I don't know exactly like, but I'm sure there are like certain terms you can use. And if you see those terms in like the automatic search results in Amazon, and you see those like again in different wording and everything, then you know it's a good niche to go into. It doesn't need to be like a specific person. It can also be a specific feature of the product or anything like that. Another example I can give is like if I would sell a yoga mat these days, I didn't actually check this, I just thought about this before the call. But if I would sell a yoga mat these days, instead of just targeting everyone, like everyone else is doing, like men, women, and everything, I would just target the feature of non-slip yoga mat for elderly people that want to do yoga, okay? Because I think a lot of them are looking for yoga mats, and all yoga mats are non-slip. I need to be clear with this. All yoga mats are non-slip, but if that's the only feature I focus on, that it's non-slip, and all of my pictures are for elderly, and even I price my product $5, $7 more than everyone else, it looks like I'm a branded product. It looks like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And if an older person is looking for a yoga mat, they're probably going to buy mine in that case. And that's what we're trying to do. So it can be the same product. You can take the same yoga mat exactly like everyone else and just change the branding, change the images around it, and that can work really well. Another thing is you can change the product itself, like bath bombs for men. You can change the scents, and then it's for men. What bath bomb for kids, what they did is they actually added a small toy inside the bath bombs for the kids. So you can be creative with this, but yeah, that's basically the process.
Cool. And in terms of the way that you're talking about the research process is almost like we're talking about keyword research process as well, because you're basing these around terms, you're going into the niches, you're differentiating the product. So what does keyword research mean to you, and how do how does your process of this work?
So we have been using Helium-10 for the majority of our keyword research, and I also added a feature for Cerebro, I think about a year ago, where you can take and compare an ASIN to different competitors and everything. Yeah. So that's something I talked to them and they added in. But what I can say, when I look for products, I don't really care about search volume. I know a lot of people are disagreeing with me on this, but I don't really care about search volume. Because when you depend on search volume, you are missing out on more expensive products, for example. So I don't really care about search volume. As long as the sales and the revenues are there, as long as I see the numbers in sales, then great. What you can also do is you can use Helium-10 for this product research. So you can go into Blackbox, and basically they have like this keywords feature. So you can type there like for women, choose your category, and you can just browse through everything, just arrange it by revenue or whatever you want, and that's it. And we don't filter by a certain search volume, because we might be missing out on some important products.
Yeah.
And when I think about brands, I prefer to target a specific person that I sell to, and not like a specific niche. So if I sell yoga mats, I don't want to have like 5 different yoga mats in my store and that's it. I want to think about the person who buys the yoga mats, and then I can sell more stuff to that person. I can even sell supplements. I can sell whatever. But yeah.
Cool. So just to elongate there, so basically you don't necessarily pay attention to any search volume whatsoever, because you're focused on the numbers of the units sold and the revenue. Is that right?
Yeah, even not the units sold, just the revenue. I don't care if I sell 10,000 units for $1 or
the price point
for $1,000. It's the same thing, right? Because if you get like 25, 30% profit or 20% profit before PPC or whatever, who cares about the price or how many units are sold?
Yeah, so you're looking at like, you're not taking it down at the micro, you're looking on a macro level here. You're just focusing on like revenues where it's at. I can make the numbers work after that. I suppose what I meant by that is that obviously to get found and get indexed, you need search terms. So do you not look at the main listings that are doing all these revenue and go, what search terms are these using? So I got the findability for my products, or do you just completely ignore that as well?
So in the product research phase, we ignore that. We first want to see if we should go into that product or not based on the revenues. Mm-hmm. And that should depend on your goal. Some have a goal to make like 10K with their product. Some want to make 50K. and you need to see if you can, and we look at the reviews. So if you type in bath bombs for men, I think that's a great niche to go into right now before Christmas, so people still have time. So let's say you sell beards, tools, or whatever. I think that can be a great product for you, and should be really easy to just scale that product. And I'm also thinking if it's a growing market or a descending market. So I'm sure bath bombs will stay for at least for a few years, and will probably do really well. So I think those type of products you should definitely go into. But what was the question again? Sorry.
Yeah. So no, we were just talking about the volumes. Yeah. So it's like, where, you've got the revenues that you're looking at the revenues, but then you've got to look at these listings that are doing these revenues. But I understand that you're focused on revenue, but not the search term. Are you going to look and reverse engineer those listings to say what search terms they're using? What are they being found on? Because obviously...
Yeah, so we are doing, So like I said, in the product research phase, we are not doing that. But after we look into it, so let's say we talked to a few suppliers, we decided to go for this product. That's only the time that we really start to go into keyword research. I don't really care about search volumes until that point. And the way I do everything, like keyword research, images, everything is all based on my competitors. So what we do is we will put everything in Cerebro, and Cerebro and Helium 10 will basically compare the different ASINs, and will just tell us where their average rank is for each keyword. And those are the keywords that we will focus on, because if all of them are ranked like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the top 5 competitors are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I know that's where they're making their sales from. If they are ranked like 20, 25 in the keyword ranking position, I know that keyword is maybe making them a few sales, but not like, that's not the main keyword. So that's how we know like which keywords are actually generating sales. Doesn't matter, again, if it's low search volume or high search volume, because the word bath bombs, for example, probably has a very high search volume, but I don't know the conversion rate on that term. I have no idea what the conversion rate is on that term, and I don't think anyone can answer that. So so that's how we start.
Cool. And then, so you've taken that, what's the next phase for you? So you do initial product research, you park search volume, then you come back and you review, you based it around revenue. What is the next steps for you in the process?
So after we have the product, we're agreeing to launch it and everything, then we put the main products, like the main 5 competitors, the one with the most reviews, the highest revenues, the highest everything, we just put those in Cerebro, and we just want to filter it down to a list of maybe 40, 50 keywords. That's what we try to do, and those will be our most important keywords when we launch the product. So we want to make sure all of those terms appear in our listings in some way, so we are indexed. And then I want to know which keywords I should target when I launch, right? I really want to know those. So what we do is we just put all of those keywords inside brand analytics in Sales Central. And what I'm looking for is high conversion rates. That should be my goal, because bath bombs for men, for example, bath bombs might have a big volume in search term, but bath bombs for men might have a much higher conversion rate in the top 3 positions, right? Brand Analytics is showing me the top 3 positions. So let's say all of them together are doing 70% of the conversions for bath bombs for men. I know that keyword, if I just invest in PPC in that keyword, I might get a sale even with 1 or 2 reviews, because the conversion rate is so high. If the conversion rate is like, let's say bath bombs, if the conversion rate for the top 3 is only 15% or 20%, I know, well, I probably shouldn't invest in this because the conversion rate is so low and I'm just going to overspend a lot of money on PPC anyway. So we try to focus on keywords that are higher than 50% conversion rates with the keywords that we are targeting.
And in terms of PPC, what is your process there? I mean, are you doing PPC only launches, or do you combine that with messenger bots, etc.? What's the process there?
So that might be a longer conversation.
In a future show, we'll go in depth on that, but I'm just trying to get the idea from product research to launch what you're going through.
I understand. Yeah. So when it comes to PPC, we tried many different tools, and honestly, we feel better doing everything manually. Just works better for us. So we just take those same 40, 50 keywords and just stuff all of them in broad phrase exact. Like the keywords we find from Cerebro, there are some that we focus on heavier, like I mentioned before, with higher conversion rates and everything. So the way I see like PPC, when we start out, like bath bombs, Amazon is going to suggest a bid for us. We're just going to put a much lower bid than that because we know we're not going to convert. But bath bombs for men, we're going to put a higher bid than what Amazon is suggesting because we will convert on that word based on brand analytics, if it's like higher than 50% or lower than 50%. So we just look at that just to know how to start PPC. And when it comes to like launching the product, we usually activate PPC from the get-go. We get a few reviews from friends, whatever we need to do, we do it. And we also use rebate key. We also have a list for some of our brands, so we use a list. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you take it like, so you're showing a diversified portfolio of launch strategy. We got a list. You use rebate key.
Yeah, I think it's always good to mix. Like whatever you're doing, I think it's always good to have a mix of different things. And I would even, we even go as far as targeting different keywords with each tool. So rebate key, I might put like a super URL in there. If it's a list, we might do like a search find buy or whatever for a different keyword. And we just track everything. Because if I'm going to use the same keyword, I don't know what the effect of that tool was. And one thing we tested and it showed really good results is people that are doing search find buy, if you are just launching a product and your product is like on page 10, a lot of people are not going to go all of those pages, or page 4 or whatever, you're going to miss your product. What we do now is we tell them to type in the main keyword and then our brand name next to it. So they can type in bath bombs for men, Rabinovich, for example. Let's say that's your brand name. So they type that in. And you also show them a picture of your product, and then it's usually the first or the second product down. So
well, you know, the other thing you can do as well, if you're focusing on the long tail, like you mentioned, the chances are the cost per clicks are lower. So you could run PPC as well, and then you can get clicks through your PPC basically.
Right. Yeah, we are running PPC anyway for those keywords, obviously. So if they see the sponsored first, they're going to click on it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you get stuck 10 pages back and you're targeting, you're being very specific in terms of targeting like a longer tail search term. I mean, if it's going to cost you $1 for someone to click on it and do search find buy, then there's still benefits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you probably know more about PPC than I do, but one thing I want to throw out there is that that people need to understand. Like they think they're gonna put like $10 on the word bath bombs,
it's not.
And if they put like $10 on that bid and they have 0 reviews, okay, let's say that's the case, or they have 5 or whatever. When they do that, Amazon is gonna give them first position, first page, for a few clicks, right? And Amazon is going to test if they convert or not. If they are not converting,
exactly. I agree. If they are relevant, based on just a $10 click isn't just enough. It has to be relevant. It has to be in the right node, etc. But I know what you're getting.
But it also needs to convert. So if you only have like 2, 3, 5 reviews, and all of the first page is like thousands of reviews, you're probably not going to convert. So what Amazon is going to do after a few clicks, they're going to push you back a few pages with your ad. And they're going to put someone for $9, right? And that like continues again and again. So usually what you see in the sponsored ads are actually like the top competitors. And those top competitors are paying less than everyone else just because they are converting well. Yeah. So when we focus on like a specific niche, like bath bombs for men, what will happen is we can get that spot for the sponsored ad quickly and cheaply, more than like the people who are targeting everyone, even if they pay like a lot more money, or even if they have all of the reviews, because we are converting best for that term. Yeah. And you can really make a lot of money that way.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and more profit.
Totally. So let's look at wrapping here. Is there any final bit of advice you would give to the audience?
Yeah, so I think like everything that is happening with the reviews, like over the past 2 years, I will say, is that Amazon is just thinking about their customers. I really hope that they will expand the early review program from 5 to like 5,000. That will solve everything. Yeah. But when it comes to reviews and products, you really need to think, look, like 2 years ago, I had like junk products that I was selling, and it was like 4.5 stars because you could fake reviews, you could do whatever you want. These days, you can't sell junk products anymore on Amazon. Your products really need to be high-end and everything. So do not launch any mediocre products. Those will not work long-term, and you can't like fake reviews like you used to before and everything, and you can't contact reviewers anymore. So everything is like you have to have a really good product, and also try to differentiate. Differentiation doesn't mean that you have to invent a new product or change something in the product. It can even be non-slip yoga mat, okay? But either do what I just said, like target a specific niche, or just improve the product. If it's a low-hanging fruit product, there is no, it doesn't make any sense to me to really brand that product. The only reason I brand products is to make money. I don't really care about branding. This is the only time I will brand. If it's a very competitive product, that's when I'll do it.
Makes sense. Cool. So if people want to reach you, what's the best way to get in contact with you? What you come up, your speaking work, etc. Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so I actually just have a new website that came up like a few days ago. So it's just my name, tomarrabinovich.com. You can just go there, and yeah, that's
excellent. Speaking gigs, what you got coming up?
Well, I have China Magic in October.
Same as me. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna be there. Probably gonna jump into Global Sources for like a day. Yeah, that's like the closest one.
Excellent. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get you back again soon. Guys, thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again in the next few days. Take care.